Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So a couple weeks ago I was in Colombia and I did a lot of video footage using my Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, my Smooth 4 gimbal, and my DJI Mavic 2 Pro drone. While in Colombia, I just happened to be scrolling through the net and I saw that pre-orders opened up for the Samsung Galaxy S10, so I quickly jumped on it, and it also came with a set of Galaxy or Samsung earbuds. So today I'm going to give you my first impressions of the last maybe 12 hours of playing with this thing, almost all through the night to get all the details of the footage, and tell you what I think about it compared to the Samsung Galaxy S9. So let's get into it. So first off, having both phones, there are some differences in features from both phones. I'm always a fan of having newer features when I get a new phone. It is a disappointment when you go out and you spend almost $1,000 on a new phone and it's almost identical to the one that you bought last year. What I can tell you is Samsung has put a lot of improvements into this phone, which I didn't know about when I was in Colombia. In fact, I didn't see much about this. I don't have cable. I don't do a lot of, I know I've been in the past, but I've been working really hard, so I don't do a lot of tech research on the things that I want to see when they come out. When they come out, I kind of like hop on them and I'm waiting for the surprise. I did see a lot of buzz around the Samsung Galaxy S10, but I'm like, is it really that much better than the Samsung Galaxy S9? And according to what the reviews are saying, and the quick little headlines that I was seeing, is that Samsung got it right in the Galaxy S10. So there's a lot of differences. Form factor wise, they're almost identical in size. I know someone told me that they saw it in Best Buy. I told them I had mine coming and they were like, I saw it in Best Buy. It's smaller than the Samsung Galaxy S9. Or no, actually he said it's smaller than the Samsung Note 8, which he has, which is the identical size to the Galaxy S9. And I was curious whether or not that was true. He claimed that the bezels were removed on the Samsung Galaxy S10, making it a shorter phone. But as you can see side by side, these, or if I can get that in the frame, these are identical in size. In fact, the only difference that they have form factor wise is that this one is a little bit heavier for some reason, and this one is like, I mean, it's not even a little bit, it's substantial. You can feel a difference in weight, and I have even with the cases off, of course, because I'm not weighing them with the cases on. And if you look at it, there's very little differences. I'm a fan that Samsung actually kept, my camera's probably not going to focus that well, I'm a fan that Samsung actually kept, there you go, the headphone jacks. I love headphone jacks. I'm not a fan of a phone like the iPhone that took the headphone jack out and then you got to use a dongle to use it. I want to use any headphones that I have. If I'm borrowing someone's headphones, I don't want to have to worry about the dongle and whether or not I've lost the dongle. I don't know how many dongles I've lost. It's still got the bottom firing speaker on it. It's got the USB-C port on it. On the top, you still have one microphone, and below that there is your SIM card, memory card slot. On the, I'm holding them opposite orientations. So on the right side, you still have your volume rocker, and that's a little bit different. On the Samsung Galaxy S10, the power button is a little bit higher than it was on the Galaxy S9. So even if it weren't for the phone, the cameras, you would not be able to use your case from the Galaxy S9. And on the left side, you still have the volume rocker and the Bixby button, which I'm hoping, because it was supposed to happen in the update to Pi for the Galaxy S9, I can reprogram the Bixby button in the Galaxy S10. Now, I always buy mine straight from Samsung unlocked, and it seems like for some reason the providers get the updates first. There was an update that happened. I still don't think I've got it on my Samsung Galaxy S9 where I could reprogram the Bixby button. So I'm hoping I can do it on this unlocked Samsung Galaxy S10. So let's just get into the phones themselves and some of the cool features that I like about the Samsung Galaxy S10 versus the Galaxy S9. The Galaxy S9 was a great phone, and I'll do the pros and cons real quick. So if there's a major con that I'm kind of going to have to get used to, is the removal of the fingerprint sensor on the Galaxy S9 and previous series. Now, the reason for that is while Samsung did come out with the fingerprint reader under the screen on the Galaxy S10, I find it to be a little bit hard to get used to. In fact, it was a little bit harder to program. It wants you to press harder so that those ultrasonic sounds can get the lands and grooves of your fingerprint. You also don't have like that tactile feel where you can feel something to put your finger and kind of get the scan. You're pressing your finger up against a screen where at times you don't even know where that button is. In fact, I'll get it. It's right there on the bottom, if you can see it, because my phone's not going to focus that fast. It's right there on the bottom. That's where you got to put your finger every time you want to unlock this phone. And it's a very small patch of screen to put your finger on. So I've at many times tried to unlock this thing and got it on the first try, and then I'm like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And there's been times where I'm trying to unlock it and it's like you gotta press harder and you gotta do this and you gotta do that. So I don't like the fact that it takes me a little bit extra time to unlock it, but I'm pretty sure over time I'm gonna be able to get used to that, and it's probably not gonna be a big deal. But you could also use the fingerprint sensor on the Galaxy S9 for gesture mode. So I could do this and it would, well, I can do that. Let me get off of that screen there real quick. I can do this on the back and it would unlock or bring down my control panel from the top. And you can also do other gestures where it would, like you just saw, launch my Samsung Pay application. Kind of like that about this phone. It makes the phone easier, like not being able to use the Bixby button. Now, if I could launch, like, let's say my Samsung Galaxy, my Galaxy Pay with this Bixby button, not a big deal. But I did like the fact that I had the options of using the gesture modes on the fingerprint sensor on the Galaxy S9. Other features which you all know, there's a difference in cameras. So the Samsung Galaxy S9 had 2 cameras in the back, and it also had a mechanical aperture which would change. Now you can tell on that very top camera that aperture is very much closed because I'm standing in front of a bright light. On the Samsung Galaxy S10, depending on the one you have I think you have 3, 4, or 5 cameras. I've got the Galaxy S10 Plus, so this one has 5 cameras. It's got 3 on the back, 2 on the front. Now, I love a great camera, but I don't want the gimmicky features of a camera. Like, I wasn't looking for the iPhone's bit or emoji feature. This actually has that emoji feature where you hold it in front of your face and the emoji, not as good as the iPhone, I will admit, but the emoji will respond and move to your head and your jaw and your mouth movements and make the emoji do the same thing. Not a fan of those type of features. I want something that is going to be useful in a camera. Now, what I find is that these cameras are actually going to give me probably the same feature. These 3 cameras are going to probably give me the same features as these 2 cameras. So side by side, I haven't done a lot of photography with them because I've only had this thing overnight. But I had dual aperture, and this was allowing me to change the aperture. And if I'm not mistaken, one of these cameras was telephoto and one of them was for standard distances. There's a difference on this one. They've actually added a wide angle lens on the back so that you get a bigger shot, but you could kind of still do that with 2 lenses. If you had one lens that had a wide angle and then you were able to, I guess, digitally crop in on that, you could do the same thing. So I'm not willing to pay for an extra camera if it really doesn't have that many cool features or it doesn't have a usefulness. I do find that these cameras are actually pretty good. Now, one cool selling point on the Galaxy S10 is this. So I'm gonna shoot this real quick because it's cold and I want to get back in the house. So one of the cool features that I think that wasn't publicized about the Galaxy S10 is that the front-facing cameras seem to have image stabilization. While playing with it indoors and just moving the camera around while doing like selfie checks, I saw that I was getting that image stabilization shift. And I have a pretty heavy gait, so walking like this, I'm sure I can see a little bit of bounce in my arm, but we're going to see how it looks in post, whether or not that bounce was taken out. Even walking like this with the Galaxy S9, I found the footage unusable because I was walking and talking, it was just bouncing all over the place. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't use the front-facing camera for vlogging on my Galaxy S9. And when I try to flip the phone around to do it on the other side, I can't see how the frame is. I can't do this rule of thirds thing that I'm doing right now. So that was the cool thing I thought about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the cameras the other way. I'm going to do a little bit of a run and see how that steady shot works for the back-facing cameras that Samsung has been bragging about, and see if it works that great. All right, steady shot is on, and what I see is if you turn steady shot on, you get that the cropped image so you can't see the edges, and I'm only walking right now, but if you turn steady shot off, you get that full frame of view where it takes up the whole screen. So we're in steady shot on mode. We all know what steady shot off mode looks like if you've owned a Galaxy S8 or something, or S9. So let's give it a little bit of a run with steady shot on and see how well it works. So yeah, I'm a fan of the fact that they probably put image stabilization in the front-facing camera. I would love to have that all-in-one camera, or that all-in-one device for vlogging, for travel, for everything, so I don't have to carry my other cameras, which have, I need to see myself in the frame. I need to see where everything is behind me. And one of the things about vlogging with cell phones is that the front-facing cameras have usually been low quality and do not have image stabilization. This has image stabilization, or seems to have image stabilization, so I love it. Wide angle lens, stuff like that. I'm not a big selfie guy, so I don't need to get 15 people in there. But if it has it, it's cool. I like it. So other than that, I mean, there are some other cool features about the camera that I guess if you follow this, you've seen that the camera has some features that I gotta kind of get used to or see how well they are. There was this one feature that says it's a shot help feature where it will tell you where to aim the camera to get the best shot. And I'm only assuming it's using your histogram to tell you where the best lighting is in that image, and you want to point there, take the shot, hopefully whatever you want to shoot is in that frame and is in focus, and then you can probably crop and kind of adjust the frame later. Haven't really tested it, but I do see that it works. I was testing it in the just playing around with it and pointing at different things, and it said take the shot now. You can also turn on automatic shot feature on that, so if it actually finds the best point and you line up the 2 bullseyes, it will take the shot for you. Cool feature, but I don't know if I'll use it. There were a couple of things that I found to be a little bit annoying about the Galaxy S10, and that's probably it's going to need a couple of updates, a couple firmware updates. Hopefully they didn't rush this and have too many things that were bad. One was programming the fingerprint sensor. Like again, this was like you can tell where to put your finger, and it tells you rocket left, rocket right. Now what you have to do when you program the fingerprint sensor on this one is you have to be holding the phone like you would naturally hold it for daily use. Don't put it on the table and try to program in your fingerprint. Hold it like you would do, like I am right now, and then program in your fingerprint, because the likeliness of you getting the most accurate fingerprint scan is by you holding it how you would in daily use. So if I'm taking this out of my pocket, I'm holding like this, I want to hit the button, and as you can see right there, it is not unlocking for me, probably because I didn't do the most accurate fingerprint scan on it. The way I did this fingerprint scan is I kind of had two hands and I was scanning it like this. So when I did that, it unlocked, right? Because I had my thumb fat on it, it was secure, it wasn't rocking around, and I got a better scan by doing that. And I don't want that to happen, so I'm gonna redo the fingerprint scans on that. And like I said, the unlock is unpredictable. It took me 3 times. It takes me at least 3 times, almost all the time, to unlock this phone, which is, if you're trying to get that quick shot, I don't like it, because then I gotta go through and I gotta put the passcode in, and I'm gonna miss the shot. Second thing is, and this is not a Samsung Galaxy S10, it's more of an Android Pie thing. I'm not a fan of the fact that the software for the camera has gone more iPhone-ish, where you have to scroll through each feature that you want to use. I was a fan of having the camera with the record button above the shutter button, so that I just go into camera, and depending on what I want to do, if I want to get a quick shot, I can hit video or I can hit photo. In this situation, you got to go in and you got to scroll left or right to find the feature that you want to use. If you've ever shot and want the super slow motion, you got to go back. You're going to miss the shot, so I do not like that. And hopefully that's something that they're going to take out, or I can find an aftermarket camera app that's as good as I do tend to like the camera app on the Samsung phones, and replace that whole iPhone overlay that they kind of been trying to implement on Android Pie. Do not like it. Hardware wise, battery is a lot longer on this one. It's supposed to last 24 hours. Oh yeah, plus you can also do NFC charging. So if someone wants to borrow some juice from you because their battery's dead, you can also use this phone, NFC wireless charging, to charge their phone or your earbuds. A lot of new cool features that I'm going to have to dig into and really figure out how to use this. One other small glitch, I'm sorry, I'm bouncing back. I couldn't figure out how to change the homepage wallpaper. So in this, you have pretty cool wallpapers for the lock screen, but in the home screen, there was no option. In the Samsung Galaxy S9, it will say, do you want to put this on your lock screen, or do you want to put this on your home screen, or do you want to put it on both? In the Samsung Galaxy S10, I did not find an option to put any wallpapers that you may have downloaded or taken a picture of on your home screen. Lock screen works, home screen does not. So with that said, let's get into the next feature. Let's get into the Galaxy Buds. The phone came with a free pair of Samsung Buds. I said Galaxy Buds, but I think they're just called Samsung Buds. So wasn't a fan of these because I thought that I would possibly lose one, and I think that still may be a possibility because they're not connected to a wire. One falls out of your ear and it falls down the drain, it's gone, or one falls out when you're not paying attention, it falls in your pocket, it's lost, it's gone, or you have to carry this little carrying case, charging case with you. But what I can tell you is, so far, I am impressed by the technology, not really the sound. I'm impressed by the technology, but not really the sound. It's pretty cool feature. So when you open this up, it's got a battery in the base, so it will charge the headphones, and you charge this, and then it will charge the headphones when they're not in use while they're in it. It's got the USB-C charging port on the back. See if I can get that to focus for you. USB-C charging port on the back, and when you open this up, just like on the iPhone, it will connect to the Samsung device, which is over there, and it will kind of give you this splash screen that says earbuds connected, and it gives you some options. I like that. I like the fact that it's there. It recognizes that this case itself recognizes that the phone is nearby. In fact, I had this in the apartment while I was shooting that video outside, and every time I walk past the window or where my kitchen is facing the street, it would tell me that my earbuds are not connected. So it's got decent range to it too, because I probably was a decent range away from the kitchen. I do like the fact that, they are touch sensitive. So when you put these in your ears, if you want to adjust the volume, or not to adjust the volume, but adjust the tracks, all you have to do is tap on the back, and they're not really that big, and they're not really that uncomfortable. I thought having a set of, like, back a while back when you had the Bluetooth thing that talked to, and you stuck it in your ear, you always had to find one that was kind of super light or didn't have the best sound. Not very heavy, so I expected something kind of heavy because it had its own battery, and something that was uncomfortable, and I did not feel that with these. I'm not a fan of them being white. I would much rather have a black pair. I am anal about touching this thing and having these little rubber pieces get all grimed up and dirty up when I'm at the gym, and now I got to try to clean them up. But other than that, I do like the technology. The sound, on the other hand, is not the greatest. Now, again, I have to get into the phone, I have to adjust it. I've done like the custom sound settings where you can go in and kind of adjust the sound to your ear. It'll chime off a whole bunch of different pitched tones and tell you whether or not you can hear them or not, and it'll adjust the equalization of your sound device or your sound system in these Samsung phones to your hearing style. I have to give them a little bit more time to see, using different types of music, how clear they are, but to me they're a little bit tinny, low bass, not a lot of depth to them. I'm used to using aftermarket headphones. In fact, I'm used to using the included AKG wired headphones. These are also made by AKG that actually have a decent sound to them. Not the best compared to some of the other headphones I've had, but the drivers in them actually give you a little bit of depth. These would be great for probably working out in the gym, and they may even be noise canceling if I'm not mistaken, so that's a good thing, because I definitely want something that's going to cancel out all of this, the banging and the yelling and the screaming that happens in the gym that I don't want to hear. But again, just not a fan of the fact that they don't sound that great. The type of music that I listen to, I like a little bit. I'm a hip hop fan, so I listen to something with bass. I want to be able to hear that bass. I want to be able to hear that thump. I'm going to probably have to invest in another pair of headphones or use the supplied wired AKG headphones, because I'm kind of used to those. But other than that, I really like this device. I like that they came free. I'm not sure how long that promotion is going to go on. I had pre-order and it said free for a limited time, and on the box it says not for resale. But I'm pretty sure if you're into technology like this, you're going to want to pick these up. I don't own any other Samsung Connect devices like watches or anything like that, but I think these are, depending on the price, these may be a decent investment, but I'm not sure right now. But I'll get back to you over a couple of days of using them and tell you what my opinions are, maybe like 4 weeks into using the phone and getting totally used to it, as they say in the phone world, a daily driver. That is my overview of the Samsung Galaxy S10. Hopefully it was decent enough to keep your attention to the end of the video. Hopefully my taste of Colombia that I've included, because I didn't do a full-length video of Colombia. I just kind of got the highlights of, people are wondering what it looks like there, and I took it out to like Rosario Islands, and we were in Del Sol and did some flying over that crystal clear water and some of the things that people were doing out there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was in 4K, but depending on how I post this, it may not be in 4K when it uploads. So thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. I'll get back to you more with the DJI stuff and the drone. I've been slipping on the drone because it's cold and I don't want to go out and fly. There've been, firmware updates where you've got waypoints down and other things you can do with it. I'll get back to you when the weather starts to warm up on that. Getting back into droning, something I want to do. It's just that I bought that drone for travel, and whenever I go somewhere, there's too many restrictions, so it's kind of one of those things that kind of sits and collects dust. But I paid a decent amount of money for it, so I want to get some use out of it. So again, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.